Stalingrad, autumn 1942. The bloodiest battle in human history is devouring the city street by street, and in the middle of it stands a single 4-story apartment building. On German staff maps, it is marked as a fortress. Its garrison, about 25 men. They will hold it for 58 days, and the Germans will lose more men storming this one house than they lost taking Paris. This is Pavlov's house. By September 1942, Hitler's armies had taken 90% of Stalingrad. What remained was a war unlike any other. The Germans called it Rattenkrieg, Rat War. Fighting room to room, floor by floor, where the front line ran through hallways and a day's advance was measured in meters. Near the Volga riverbank lay 9th January Square, and overlooking it, a battered 4-story apartment building. From its upper windows, you could see for a kilometer in 3 directions. Whoever held that building controlled every approach to the river crossings behind it, the lifeline of the entire Soviet defense. On September 27th, Sergeant Yakov Pavlov and just 3 men were sent to scout the building. They cleared it room by room in the dark and found civilians still hiding in the basement, living through the battle above their heads. Pavlov radioed back 3 words: house taken, reinforcements. They came through the rubble at night, about 24 soldiers of the 13th Guards Division, Russians, Ukrainians, Georgians, Kazakhs, Tajiks, nearly a dozen nationalities in one building. Most of them were barely 20 years old. They turned the house into a fortress. Barbed wire and mines on every approach. Machine guns behind sandbags in the windows. Anti-tank rifles hauled up to the top floors, because when German tanks rolled close, they couldn't elevate their guns high enough to fire back. A supply trench was dug to the rear, the building's umbilical cord. The Germans attacked several times a day, wave after wave, across the open square. The house held. On their maps, German officers gave it a new name: Die Festung, the fortress. For 58 days, the rhythm never changed. Assaults at dawn. Snipers through the afternoon. Resupply crawling through the trench at night. Ammunition, bread, water. In the basement, the civilians endured it all. November brought the cold. Frost on the rifles. Snow drifting through shattered walls. The building was knocked down to a skeleton, but its machine guns never fell silent. Tank after tank was knocked out at point-blank range from the upper floors. And in the Soviet command, General Chuikov made a claim that became legend. The Germans lost more men trying to take Pavlov's house than they lost taking Paris. On November 19th, the earth shook. Operation Uranus, the great Soviet counteroffensive, smashed through the flanks and encircled the entire German 6th Army. On November 25th, relief reached 9th January Square. The house had never fallen. Yakov Pavlov was later named the hero of the Soviet Union. Lieutenant Ivan Afanasyev, who had actually commanded the defense for most of those 58 days, was nearly forgotten by history. The house kept Pavlov's name. Today the building stands rebuilt in Volgograd, with a preserved memorial wall from the original ruin. One house, 25 men, 58 days. Proof, in brick and fire, that Stalingrad would not fall. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe. Every week we bring you the small battles. History almost forgot. Next episode, 1915. A Russian fortress drowned in poison gas, and 60 dying men rose out of the cloud and charged. The attack of the dead men.